Part 78. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 771. Chapter 771. She lost her memory. Go down and take a look. Sidhu Yan felt a little panicked when encountering a life-threatening situation, so he got out of the car to take a look himself. She turned out to be a woman in her 20s. Master, she is still breathing. Send to the hospital quickly. Not daring to delay any longer, Sidhu Yan and the driver worked together to lift the young woman into the car and rushed to the hospital immediately. There was no surveillance on the way they came. Since the woman's life and death could not be determined, Sidhu Yan did not truthfully confess that his car hit the woman. After an emergency operation, the doctor left them with good news. The good news is that the woman's life is safe. In this case, Sidhu Yan was finally relieved. But, the doctor added, although her life is fine, the young lady seems to have a serious illness and needs to be treated with other drugs. Sidhu Yan waved his hand and said, treat her and the cost will be charged to my account. But thinking that the matter was related to him, Sidhu Yan took the initiative to bear all the trouble and even gave the woman the best room to let the doctor give her good treatment. Anyway, their Sidhu family has a big business, so they don't lack the money for medical treatment. The next day, Sidhu Yan received a call from the hospital, saying that the woman woke up, but something unexpected happened. That woman has lost her memory. This news caught Sidhu Yan off guard. Sidhu Yan went to the hospital with bad intentions. When he opened the ward door, he saw the woman wearing sterile hospital clothes sitting on the bed, her head lowered, wondering what she was thinking. Sidhu Yan himself is not the kind of indifferent person, plus he feels guilty for bumping into someone yesterday. When he sees someone here, he doesn't know how to speak for a moment. Miss, please excuse me. Sidhu Yan doesn't know her name yet. Although the woman had lost her memory, she could understand the words. When she raised her head and saw Sidhu Yan's unfamiliar face, she hid back as if she was frightened. But behind her was the back of the bed, so where could she hide? The woman stared straight at him with misty eyes. Her tightened look was more like a lost lamb, innocent and harmless, which made people feel pity. Sidhu Yan's heart seemed to be hit by something at that time. When he saw Yezi a few days ago, he was also attracted by her beautiful appearance, especially her beautiful eyes, which were full of aura and particularly attractive. Looking at this strange woman now, although her appearance is much inferior to that of Yeyi, the same thing is that both of them look like a weak type, which can easily make men feel protective. Don't worry, I'm not a bad person. Sidhu Yan tried to clear his name. It rained heavily last night and the road was slippery. An accident happened. My driver accidentally hit you. I'm very sorry for that. But Sidhu Yan is definitely not someone who evades responsibility. If you don't believe it, you can ask the doctor. We sent you to the hospital for treatment as soon as possible. I paid for your medical expenses without leaving. Seeing the woman's eyes turning, she seemed a little shaken. Sidhu Yan added, I'm just saying this because I hope you know that I have no ill intentions towards you. Miss, do you remember where your home is? I'll take you back. The man on the bed shook his head and refused to speak. He was like a frightened bird, full of vigilance against everything. Sidhu Yan asked the doctor about the situation. The doctor said that it was possible that a blood clot had formed from the impact on his head, causing his amnesia. You can't remember anything at all? Including your own name, do you have any impression? End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 772. Chapter 772. Her name is Xiaomo. The woman covered her head, as if in pain, and whispered the word mo in a low voice. Sidhu Yan didn't understand what she was hearing. He grabbed her hand in a hurry and asked, what are you talking about? The woman nodded and shook her head, as if she was confused as well. Then let's call you Xiaomo for now. The woman temporarily named Xiaomo nodded. Sidu Yan couldn't tell her specific age. According to the doctor's test, she was about 22 years old. This Xiaomo was slender and petite, but her skin was not very good. It seemed that her previous life was not very good. Sidu Yan originally thought about finding her past contacts from her mobile phone, but found that her mobile phone had not been found since entering the hospital. Maybe it was dropped on the road yesterday and was picked up. At this time, Sidu Yan could only keep Xiaomo in the hospital temporarily. Xiaomo now has amnesia and cannot remember everyone except basic common sense. Because Sidu Yan often visited her and spent money on her medical treatment, Xiaomo was very attached to Sidu Yan. What Sidu Yan can't stand the most is this kind of well-behaved and pitiful women, who can't always refuse any of their requests. Xiaomo was reluctant to talk a few days ago. When Sidu Yan went to visit her today, she suddenly called out Brother Yan, which really made Sidu Yan feel ripples in his heart. Hee, man. When the doctor reported to Sidu Yan again about Xiaomo's recovery, he mentioned that Xiaomo was ready to be discharged from the hospital. Only then did Sidu Yan remember that he had forgotten about this. It was he who caused Xiaomo to lose her memory and unable to find her family. He should take on the responsibility of taking care of Xiaomo temporarily. Xiaomo, I haven't found your family yet. Are you willing to go home with me? Xiaomo stared at him, seeming to be thinking seriously. After a while, under Sidu Yan's expectant gaze, Xiaomo nodded. Okay, Xiaomo is willing to go home with Brother Yan. That's great. Sidu Yan didn't know why his heart beat faster when he heard Xiaomo agree. Of course, what Sidu Yan said about taking her home was not to take her back to the main house of the Sidu family, but to a villa where Sidu Yan himself lived. The other side. Yezikin captured Li Cheng, but no news emerged from the interrogation for a whole week. Everyone underestimated Li Cheng's willpower. Lian Yiwei was puzzled. This man is really loyal to his accomplices. We have tried so many methods but failed to pry his mouth open. They used both soft and hard tactics, including devising clichés, to prevent Li Cheng from revealing the truth. They had also sent out a message specifically hoping that Li Cheng's companions would take action, but this week passed and they still couldn't figure out the identity of the other person. They also engaged in psychological warfare with Li Cheng, but Li Cheng was determined to defend that person and was completely speechless. That man has been hiding in the dark. The thief may be hiding in a corner and watching. That person is really making things difficult for me, so we won't let up for a moment and will always force her out. That person is either isolated from the world and does not use any information that may reveal his identity, or he is extremely powerful, even more powerful than the Maoist and Ye groups, so he can hide his identity. But according to the current situation analysis, it should belong to the former. I've been staying at Mo's house for a while. I'm going back to City S tomorrow. You stay here and don't go out. Good. The two of them had just discussed their arrangements when new news came from Li Cheng. Boss, Li Cheng committed suicide. If you can't guess the identity of the bad woman anymore. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 773. Chapter 773. The other side of personality hasn't disappeared yet. Li Cheng committed suicide. This news shocked Yezikin and Yeyi. Li Cheng even wanted to die to escape. Fortunately, they rescued him in time and saved Li Cheng's life. However, Li Cheng destroyed his tongue and is now mute. This man really would rather die than surrender. Yes, only good temper was about to be worn away. She didn't have to hide herself in front of Yezikin. She frowned and showed her emotions. If you don't want to say anything like this, what's the use of keeping it? Little Bell. Her hands were tightly twisted, and her thumbs and index fingers were rubbing hard. She seemed not to have heard Yezikin's soft call, and her eyes became sharper. If you want to die, let him do it. Sensing that her mood was wrong, Yezikin took her hand. Ye Wei seemed to be suddenly frightened. She didn't dare to raise her eyes to meet him, and lowered her head with a guilty conscience. Yezikin didn't deliberately say anything to her. After calming down for a while, Ye Wei seemed to have forgotten the embarrassment just now. She regrouped her thoughts and analyzed methodically. Brother, since Li Cheng is willing to defend that person, it means that that person is very important to him. We have checked him in the past 2 years. I haven't found anyone close to him in my life, but I feel that the answer is always hidden in him. You mean, earlier? Well, the information Secretary Zhao gave us has records Li Cheng spent 5 years in prison and was only released 2 years ago. That place is also where Li Mo'er served his sentence. Just say it. She heard the laughter overflowing from Yezikin's mouth. This is not a mockery. She felt someone touching her hair, and she heard the person sigh with relief. The little Belle has really grown up. She is no longer the little girl who just cried when things happened. Fortunately, she still relies on herself wholeheartedly. This is something that makes Yezikin very happy. However, Ye Wei seems to have a hidden danger that cannot be mentioned. Dr. Huo once said, the other side of her is to protect herself. This kind of psychological problem can only be treated step by step, and it cannot be cured at once by external forces. With Miss Jiao's suppressive nature, as long as we treat her well and make her feel safe, she may be able to recover over time. Caressing the face, Yezikin took a step back in shock, as if he was stung in the heart when he saw her unpreparedly smiling brightly at him. Elder brother. It's okay, leave this matter to me, don't think too much, I just want you to be happy. I believe in my brother. Afterwards, Secretary Zhao was asked to investigate in this direction, and almost all the information about Li Cheng from his birth to the present was dug out. Li Cheng did not have a good life or study well due to family reasons when he was young. He often got into trouble for committing crimes. Later, the gangsters harmed others and accidentally killed one person. Li Cheng worked as a squatter for 10 years. After he came out, he had no skills and could not keep up with social development. He could only do menial work on construction sites to earn some money to support himself. Logically speaking, Li Cheng has worked tirelessly to make money in the past 2 years, which means he is trying hard to live. Why is he giving up his life now when he deliberately harms others? Li Cheng has no father or mother, no worries, and will not be coerced by others, so everything is voluntary. Who was the person who made him willing to give his life? After unremitting efforts, they finally found out. Li Mo'er, who was asked to check before, and Li Cheng do know each other. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 774. Chapter 774 JQ in prison. Li Mo'er, I do know Li Cheng. Men and women in prison do not communicate with each other. How did Li Mo'er and Li Cheng become related? When it comes to the inside of the prison, they have only one solution: check. Continue to search to find the truth. However, Yezikin and Ye Wei had a slight disagreement about this matter, so Mo Ruoshuang went to MRSMO to turn a deaf ear to them. Grandma, I think my second brother who just came home doesn't like to be close to our family. He often goes out during this period. What on earth does he want to do? Those people in the Mo family still don't know that Yezikin actually came back because of MRSMO's trickery. So when this matter was mentioned, MRSMO seemed very embarrassed. He is an adult and has his own way of thinking and doing habits. After all, he did not grow up in the Mo family. How could he get so close to us so quickly? Old MRSMO was speaking from her heart. She couldn't stand Ye 11. When Chen was indifferent, he used this reason to convince himself. Old MRSMO has good intentions. It's just used in the wrong place. Mo Ruoshuang asked again. Second brother Chen has been back for many days and has not done anything else except getting to know people from our Mo family. Grandma, don't you plan to let second brother Chen get involved in our Mo family's affairs? What she wanted to know with all kinds of insinuations was whether Yezikin would get a share of the Mo family's property. Mo Ruoshuang's little thought couldn't be hidden from old MRSMO. Old MRSMO drank a cup of tea quietly. It's your share to do your own thing. Well, on the contrary, if it's not yours, you don't have to think about it. Grandma, you are really wronging me by saying this. You are related as grandson and grandson, and I don't need to hide it in front of you. It would be okay if the second brother grew up in our Mo family, but he appeared out of thin air to come and share a piece of cake. Gang, I'm worried about brother Feng. Okay, these things are still far away, let's take a look while walking. Mo Ruoshuang wanted to say something else, but MRSMO dismissed her. Some things should not be mentioned. Mo Ruoshuang had no choice but to leave. The twins found that their sister was in a bad mood and wanted to care about her, but Mo Ruoshuang had no intention of talking to two naive adults. Where's the eldest brother? The eldest brother went to pick up his girlfriend. Mo Ruoshuang lost her temper as soon as she heard this. It's true, brother, at this juncture, he is still thinking about his girlfriend. Mo Ruoshuang is the kind of woman who is ambitious in her career, but she cannot inherit the family property as a son, and she has a good relationship with Mo Feng and wants to help Mo Feng rise to power. From Mo Ruoshuang's point of view, Mo Feng is good everywhere, but he has a girlfriend with no family background. The twins saw their sister's demeanor and didn't dare to say, Sister Ruan is pretty good. Shut up. What can those women with no family background do to help Big Brother? Don't get close to that woman. It's best to remind Big Brother that he is the one who wants to take over the Mo family and don't let women get in his way. The eldest sister is showing off her power, but the twins just hope not to cause any harm to Chi-Yu. My sister is so fierce. SHH, keep your voice down, don't let my sister hear you. Sister won't let us play with Sister Ruan. Have you forgotten that when Sister Ruan came to our house for the first time, we called us sister-in-law, and then we were scolded by her. Fortunately, the second sister-in-law Xiao who came this time is liked by everyone. It's because the second sister-in-law Xiao's family is also rich, and the third uncle and the second sister-in-law Xiao's grandfather are close friends. The twins murmured, but Mo Feng decided to bring his girlfriend home. Perhaps it's because he can't stand Yezikin taking his fiancée with him every day. But he never expected that his girlfriend. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 775. Chapter 775 Junior High School Classmates Meet. I heard that Mo Feng was going to bring his girlfriend back. The younger members of the Mo family were all there, and Yezikin and Yewei would not be absent either. Yewei didn't expect that Mo Feng's girlfriend turned out to be an old acquaintance. When Mo Feng brought Zhang's girlfriend in, almost all eyes were on them. Mo Feng's girlfriend is tall and has big wavy hair. She is not very beautiful, but she looks very upright and comfortable. I didn't notice it when I entered the house, but when Mo Feng brought her girlfriend over to introduce her to everyone, they finally came face to face. The first sight of Mo Feng's girlfriend that night, and the first sight of Mo Feng's girlfriend that night. When Ye Wei saw Mo Feng's girlfriend, he glanced at her appearance a few more times. When Mo Feng's girlfriend saw Ye Wei, her eyes moved down and fell on her wrist. Because the only time to stand up at night is when there is a slight sound of bells. Let me introduce, this is my girlfriend and Ruan. When Mo Feng introduced him, Ye Wei finally confirmed that they were old acquaintances. Everyone greeted and Ruan politely, but when they arrived at Ye Wei, she said, "Long time no see." At the same time, and Ruan also determined Ye Weiwei's identity. It's true that I didn't admit my mistake. After all, people like Yezikin and Ye Yuyi cannot be erased with the passage of time. Enruan had never seen Ye Weiwei's bell when she met her, but Enruan remembered that Ye Weiwei had mentioned the bell to her, including Yezikin's unique name for Ye Weiwei. Just now it just brought back memories, now the relationship is confirmed. After not seeing each other for almost 10 years, these two people are still together, and they are even more dazzling than before. Ye Weiwei said long time no see to Enruan, and Enruan said hello in a moderate voice. Because the only few words Ye said were only to Enruan and could not be heard by others. Ye Weiwei understood that Enruan did not intend to tell others that they were old acquaintances. That's right, Ye Weiwei doesn't want to either. Ye Weiwei accidentally heard the twins say that Mo Ruoxuan was not satisfied with Enruan. Then why does she need to get involved with Enruan to cause trouble to herself? However, it's really not that enemies never get together. People whom I hadn't seen for 7 or 8 years were met at the Mahist house. Enruan stayed at Mo's house for dinner. Mo Feng was really nice to Enruan and always cared about her and took care of her. But it is not difficult to find that old Mo is indifferent to this matter, and Mo Ruoxuang's eyes are simply looking at an enemy. And because of Mo Ruoxuang's instructions, the twins did not dare to get too close to Enruan. Comparatively, Ye Weiwei's treatment in the Mo family was much better. Whether it was Mo's occasional words of concern for Ye, or the twins' enthusiasm for Ye, it all made Enruan very concerned. When there is no comparison, I feel uncomfortable. When there is comparison, I just want to throw away my chopsticks and leave. But this is all Enruan thinks about himself. After dinner, Enruan saw the opportunity and approached Ye Weiwei. Want to go out for a walk? Happy to accompany you. Both of them are smiling, but neither of them is sincere. I didn't expect to see you here. What a coincidence, I don't have one either. It seems that your relationship with Yezikin is as good as ever. You're so sweet. Enruan didn't expect that when he saw Ye Weiwei again, she looked more graceful than the cute image before, but he didn't expect that her answer would be so sharp. Enruan said, I have almost forgotten what happened back then. After all, I was young and ignorant. Ye was the only one who didn't answer the question. Just now at the dinner table, you peeked at my fiancé more than 10 times. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 776. Chapter 776 Give me a child. Ye Weiwei's words made Enruan feel very embarrassed, but he didn't expect Ye Weiwei to be so disrespectful. You must have seen it wrong. Enruan still wanted to quibble. Ye Weiwei shook his head helplessly and shrugged, although I don't know how you got together with Mo Feng, I know that someone in the Mo family is very reluctant to see you. I'm too lazy to make excuses with you. You should have done it back then. You know, as long as you don't touch my bottom line, I can turn a blind eye. Then I hope you will do what you say. If Mo Feng and the others knew what happened back then, you must have leaked it. Tisk, 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 I thought you could keep pretending for how long? Why do you talk to me like that? You are asking for something from me now, stupid. Ye Weiwei scolded her as if she was disgusted, then turned around and left. Gone. Enruan was so angry that he stamped his feet when he saw her leisurely leaving figure. He dared not speak in anger. The defeat at the hands of Ye Weiwei was because of Yezikin's help, but she didn't expect that Ye Weiwei's few words could stop her from complaining. Mo Feng found him after a while, and Enruan returned to normal in front of him, but now he was more thoughtful. Is the man named Yezikin the third uncle's child who lives outside the home you mentioned earlier? That's right. Can his fiancée live directly in the Mo family? I've been with you for so long, and you can only bring me here occasionally. That's different. His fiancée Xiao Ling is very popular with his grandparents. So she can live in the Mo family with Yezikin, because everyone has regarded her as someone who is with Yezikin. And Ruan showed his temper appropriately. According to what you said, I don't like my grandparents. Baby, this has nothing to do with you personally, they care about your family background, but I only like you. Mo Feng coaxed and Ruan back with 2 or 3 sweet words. Seeing that his goal was achieved, and Ruan even complained and stopped showing off his temper. She snuggled into Mo Feng's arms and said emotionally to him, Feng, give me a child. Once we have a child, the rest of the Mo family won't stop us. Seeing her coquettish look, Mo Feng's Adam's apple rolled deeply and he hugged her to his room. The Mo family's manor is very large, with separate areas for juniors and elders, and separate men and women. Originally, there was only Mo Feng, a male, so his room is far away from other rooms. Even if he does something harmonious, others can't hear it. But what about? The twins brought Ye Wei here out of the blue. They were acting as cautiously as thieves in their own home. The twins murmured, let me just say, Sister Ruan and eldest brother must be doing good things. Ha ha ha, you guessed it right. You said you wanted to take me to see a good show, and this is it. Yes, yes, once I saw my eldest brother bringing Sister Ruan back. The two of them were walking and kissing on the way back to the bedroom. I was very curious, but I was too shy to follow her. You still want to follow me to see how embarrassed I am? No. We just want to remind you, second sister-in-law, that you and second brother are both unmarried couples, and yet you still sleep in separate rooms. After talking for a long time, it turned out that this was the purpose of the twins. Yayoi held his forehead and said, you are still young, so don't worry about these things. Just as he was about to take the twins away, he suddenly saw his younger sister Ruoxia pointing forward. Hey, hey, why are they coming out? You're not going to fight in the field, are you? Stimulate. I searched Baidu on Chinese Valentine's Day and found that the twins should call Yezikin cousin. I don't think it sounds good, so I'll just change it to second brother. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 777. Chapter 777 Separation. It's outside. What are the children looking at? Let's go quickly. The only thing that Ye did not know was what the man and the woman were going to do, and he had no interest in knowing other people's affairs. After pulling the twins away, the twins showed a strong desire to watch. But this kind of thing is really embarrassing, and as innocent girls, they should not watch it. As for the truth, actually, when the two of them were doing something, and Ruan suddenly felt a pain in his stomach and sighed. The kiss was out of place, nothing more. I heard from the twins that in the past, and Ruan would stay at Mo's house for at most 1 day, but this time he stayed for 3 days. Ye only felt that Ruan wanted to compete with her. Ruan is a woman who has already experienced human affairs. The style between a real woman and a girl is different. Ruan lived in the Mo family for 3 days, and naturally learned a lot about Yezikin and Yewei, such as the fact that they were separated. It's not surprising that they are not married and living separately, but what Ruan doesn't understand is that Yezikin and Yewei have had such a good relationship since childhood. How can a hot-blooded person endure it? Ruan told Mo Feng his guess. I've been living here in the past 2 days and heard a lot about Yezikin and Xiaolian. I heard that they were childhood sweethearts who grew up together. They have such a good relationship. How come they are an unmarried couple and they still live in separate rooms? They have been living together, and they probably separated on purpose. After returning to Mo's house, the man's thoughts were not as delicate as the woman's, and Mo Feng didn't think too much about it. Ruan shook his head. I heard from Ruyu and Ruoxiu that they are not really together yet. Do you think there is something wrong with the body between the two of them? And Ruan's words were implicit, but made people have to think more. Feng, aren't you worried that your new cousin will share your rights? If grandma knows that he is ill. It was up to Mo Feng to understand the second half of the sentence. When Mo Feng heard this, he thought it made sense. Ruan, you are truly my wise man. Mo Feng hugged Ruan and kissed her on the face. And Ruan's smile has a special meaning. On this day at the dinner table, everyone followed the etiquette of eating without speaking and ate quietly. At this time, Ruan suddenly covered his mouth with his left hand as if he was about to vomit. Hug, sorry. Ruan ignored the strange expressions on other people's faces and ran directly towards the bathroom. The kind-hearted twins asked in unison, "What's wrong with Sister Ruan?" Except for the juniors, people like the twins present and MRSMO were particularly sensitive to Ruan's reaction just now. They almost guessed in the same direction, Ruan was pregnant. At this time, Mo Feng chased after him. The mother of the twins hinted her daughters to shut up. At this time, the dining table was quiet again, but many people had no intention of eating. After a while, Mo Feng and Ruan came back and received everyone's scrutiny. Old MRSMO is old and is most qualified to ask, Ruan, are you pregnant? Ruan's face was slightly red, and he subconsciously touched his belly. I don't know about this either. Mo Feng suddenly reacted when he heard MRSMO's question and looked at Ruan in surprise, as if she was really pregnant. Ruan, are you pregnant? Ruan is shy on the outside but embarrassed on the inside. Because she is not sure about her physical condition, it would be great if she is pregnant, but if she is not, she will be laughed at. At this time, MRSMO spoke, go and invite Dr. Zhang over. Dr. Zhang is the family doctor of the Mo family. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 778. Chapter 778 2 months pregnant. Dr. Zhang brought a pregnancy test paper, but maybe she was nervous and couldn't hold in her urine for a while. Everyone was waiting for Dr. Zhang to take their pulse again, because he is a doctor involved in both Chinese and Western medicine. How is her body? Smooth communication should refer to smoothness, like beads running on a disc, which is a slippery vein. Huamai. Dr. Zhang is very particular about what he said. Although they don't understand medicine, they have heard some lines in TV dramas. A slippery pulse is not a happy pulse. Then Ruan is indeed pregnant. Dr. Zhang diagnosed the pulse. After a while, Ruan's pregnancy test paper also showed 2 red lines. She was indeed pregnant. Ancestors bless me, my Mo family is about to have a baby again. MRSMO has paid special attention to her children since she got older. Now that she knew Ruan was pregnant, her attitude towards her changed completely. Of course, that's not all. They also deliberately asked Mo Feng to take Ruan to the hospital for a checkup to see how the fetus was growing. It turns out that Ruan is already 2 months pregnant. The doctor warned them, the fetal position is unstable in the first 2 months of pregnancy, and couples should avoid having sex. Ruan was shy and relieved when he heard the doctor's advice. No wonder you suddenly said you had a stomachache that day. I was so stupid and almost hurt our child. Mo Feng experienced the feeling of becoming a father for the first time, and he was extremely happy at this moment. Ruan smiled and snuggled into his arms, calming him down with a soft tone. I don't blame you, our baby is strong, isn't that a good thing? Ruan, you are really my lucky star. One moment, Guess had clearly hinted in front of old MRSMO that Yezikin and Yewei were suffering from a hidden illness. The next second, news of their pregnancy broke out. Comparing the two, old MRSMO's thoughts almost all shifted to this enter the 2-month-old great-grandson. Now even Mo Ruoshuang, who had not wanted to see her before, didn't give her a cold look, and Ruan didn't have to leave the Mo family anymore. She was extremely happy. The most important thing is that MRSMO handed her and Mo Feng over to talk about their marriage. Since you two have a child, you should hurry up and get the certificate. I don't want my great-grandson to be born with an unfair name. What MRSMO said made sense, mainly because every word touched in Ruan's inner expectations. Mo Fengen was so happy that he lost his usual sense of reason, thinking only about the best for Ruan. I will let someone arrange the wedding right now, and I will give Ruan a grand and gorgeous wedding. When Ruan heard Mo Feng's words, his eyes instantly lit up, full of expectation. Just when she was preparing to feel deeply grateful to Mo Feng, old MRSMO's words were like a heavy stone hitting Ruan's heart. No, you can't give her a wedding. Grandma, what do you mean? The corners of Ruan's mouth trembled, and she could hardly hold on to the smile that appeared on her face just now. Old MRSMO calmly drank a cup of tea and said, Fenger has never revealed that he has a girlfriend protecting his fiancée before. If you are planning a grand wedding, it will definitely attract the attention of many people. They will dig up your life experience and may even find out that you are 2 months pregnant. When the time comes, people will take advantage of the situation to plot out the affairs between the two of you. Pregnancy before marriage? Mother is more valuable than son? Marry with a son? When you say these names, which one sounds good? Grandma, what do you mean? Go and get the certificate quietly and don't publicize it to the outside world after the child is born. You can say that you have a hidden marriage. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 779. Chapter 779 Can only marry in secret. Because they were so happy about the pregnancy, MRSMO now told them categorically, we can only get married in secret. Until the child is born, she may not be able to have the wedding of her dreams in her entire life. This is a serious blow to Ruan, who likes to compare. Grandma, there is only one wedding for a person. If Fenyin and I get married, wouldn't it mean that I won't be able to hold a gorgeous wedding for the rest of my life? Ruan felt very aggrieved. Old MRSMO wanted to say something, but considering that the pregnant woman's mood should not fluctuate too much, someone took Ruan out, leaving Mo Feng in the room. When Ruan and Mo Feng separated, their eyes were filled with prayers. Mo Feng nodded to her and coaxed her a few more words. After Ruan left, Mo Feng also mentioned the wedding. Ruan has always wanted to hold a wedding and receive everyone's blessings. Doesn't it make people feel wronged by doing this? Aggrieved? You are pregnant before marriage and you still want to hold a gorgeous wedding to let everyone know that our Mo family is such a family that does not follow the rules. Old MRSMO said every word. Mo Feng was unable to refute for a moment. In fact, he knows that MRSMO is a person who pays attention to rules and appearance. This kind of pregnancy before marriage is completely scandalous in the eyes of old MRSMO. But MRSMO also wanted the great-grandson in Ruan's belly, so she acquiesced in their marriage, which was at least legally legal. Although I thought the child in her belly was much better to her, it can't change her image in my heart. She just wants to take advantage of the mother and take the opportunity to marry into our Mo family. Grandma, Ruan really likes me. How can you say that to her? Mo Feng disagreed with old MRSMO's words, and the two almost had an argument. Old MRSMO is someone who has been here before, so she doesn't know what Mo Feng and Ruan are thinking. As an elder, she doesn't care about the younger generation, but she will never let go. Because MRSMO knew it very well. If Ruan really likes Mo Feng, he should try to integrate into the family. She is only 22 years old now. Is she in a hurry to have a child? Are you in a hurry to marry Mo Feng? It's not that I'm afraid that my relationship will deteriorate in the future and I won't be able to be the Mo family's grandma's son. If she really wants to marry you, she should find a way to make us, the Mo family, truly accept her, instead of spending the night with you to have a baby without any name or status. Grandma, I like children and want her to have them. Mo Feng gritted his teeth and took all the responsibility on himself. Old Mo couldn't help but shake her head when she saw his expression of being dazed by emotion. Feng everyone in the Mo family has high hopes for you, but now you are so paranoid because of a woman who is not worthy of you. If it weren't for that in the future, I will definitely not let you be together as a child. Mo Feng bargained with old Mo, and finally left dejectedly. He went out and met Mo Ruoshuang face to face. Ruoshuang, why are you here? Brother, come with me. Mo Ruoshuang dragged Mo Feng away domineeringly. You are protecting An Ruan, don't you hear that grandma is disappointed in you? Nonsense, now that Ruan is pregnant, it's too late for grandma to be happy. Grandma is happy because of the child in her belly. If another woman is pregnant with your child, she will be equally happy, or even happier. Brother, you have to take a long-term view in life. This child will only become a stumbling block for you. Get rid of him as soon as possible. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 780. Chapter 780, Killed his own child. You want me to kill my own child? Of course not, that child cannot be kept, and has to be borrowed from Yewei or Yezikin. Mo Ruoshuang calmly expressed her thoughts without feeling scared. Mo Feng's unusual eyes were focused on Mo Ruoshuang. Looking at this sister who had grown up with him, he suddenly felt very strange. Ruoshuang, were you crazy just now? I don't want to hear these nonsense again. Mo Feng couldn't accept Mo Ruoshuang's proposal and thought it was nonsense. Mo Feng was about to leave, but Mo Ruoshuang stopped him completely. Brother, I only tell you the truth as a confidant, and you have to know that everything I do is to help you. Ruoshuang, are you crazy? You can say such unscrupulous things. Brother, I did it for your own good, but you actually said this to me. Get out of the way. I just pretend that I didn't hear what you just said and I haven't seen you. Don't mention it again from now on. Mo Feng no longer cared about Mo Ruoshuang, waved her hand away and passed her by. Mo Feng felt uneasy, but Mo Ruoshuang secretly made up his mind. If it were not for Yezikin, then no matter what Mo Feng did, he would still be the only heir to the Mo family. But Yezikin showed up, and he was very good, so good that everyone praised him for being perfect and superior, so he couldn't be allowed to continue to be good. Otherwise, according to Yezikin's indifferent character, it would be almost impossible for her to interfere with the Mo family's property. Mo Ruoshuang wanted to seek benefits for herself, but she had to use Mo Feng's name. An Ruan was pregnant and settled in the Mo family with peace of mind. Old Mo ordered people to prepare the best food for her. Even the food for each meal was discussed by the doctor and the chef before making a schedule. In short, An Ruan received super good treatment during this period, which was a life she had never experienced before. Although she was not reconciled to the secret marriage, she was reluctant to give up the good life she was living now. And Mo Feng successfully received the certificate, as if the dust had settled. When he saw Ye Wei walking in front of her intently, An Ruan suddenly called her name. Jojo. What's the matter? Now we are a family, don't be so estranged. I stayed at the Mo family after I got pregnant, and I didn't have any close friends to accompany me to relieve my boredom. An Ruan told the story of her pregnancy in a coquettish voice. I thought Ye was the only one who would be jealous, but... Farewell, you have no friends, but I do. Ye Wei crossed his arms and glanced at her, sneered, turned and left. Still so arrogant, An Ruan threw the pillow in his arms to the ground on the spot, feeling very dissatisfied with Ye Wei's behavior. Little did he know that the scene was all seen by Emo Ruoxuan, and she had more calculations in her heart. En Ruan wanted to take the opportunity to get to know some ladies who were friends with the Emo family, so he pestered Emo Fen to ask him to take him out. Emo Fen didn't find the right time and couldn't bear to disappoint En Ruan, so he could only leave the matter to his mother. Emo Feng's mother had no feelings for En Ruan, her daughter-in-law, so she promised her son on the spot, and then entrusted the matter to Emo Ruoxuan. Emo Ruoxuan happily took over, arranged time, and took En Ruan to drink tea and chat with young married women in several circles. En Ruan was inevitably nervous when she went there for the first time. Emo Ruoxuan kept pouring her tea, and En Ruan couldn't help but go to the toilet after a while. End of this chapter.